Hi, everyone, and welcome to Crystal and Misha Do Reality Reviews. I'm Crystal Annette.
Hey, Queens, I'm Misha Allen. Thank y'all for joining us. Let's get
Yes,
into this
happy
episode.
Sunday, everyone. Thank
Oh,
you
yeah,
again
happy
for joining
Thanksgiving.
us. Yes,
Happy after Thanksgiving. Well, it's
I
been,
should.
y'all just seen us a couple times since this, I
Oh
guess.
yeah, oh yeah. We had a good Friday night. I think that was a lot of fun. I thought that was a lot of fun. So yeah, I just I'm glad everybody's doing good tonight. Let's get into Ready to Love because this episode, this was a lot of fun. Hold on one second. Let
Mhm.
me do my screen share. Hold please. Hold please. Hold please. So this okay, so this is the first episode. That's Zadia and
Mhm.
Naeem. Am I pronouncing it right? Naeem.
Yeah.
And so Naeem met with Zadia's friends, right? What did you think of this?
First of all, I want to say I feel like I have only seen her in workout clothes.
Yes.
I'm like every scene she isn't. I'm like I hope she got a workout clothing line and she's just trying to get some free advertisement. But I'm like, because nobody else really gets that leniency. Like we've heard other cast members say they want to pick your outfit and approve whatever you're wearing, but she is always in this spandex, and I was like, girl, like I get
Yes.
it. She does that for a living, but girl, every scene.
Every
But
scene. And this
yeah,
one, she has a silver or was it neon green fanny pack? So she
I
has a
don't
pink,
know.
neon pink, and a neon green fanny pack. So I really do hope this is her line. To your point, I can't even remember what she wears to deliberation. All I remember is this stuff. I don't. Do you remember seeing a dress? I
I
what?
only dress I saw her in was when she went and met with Cornelius later in the episode. So that was the first time I ever like remember seeing her in a dress besides the first day. But since that first day, I'm just like, she is always in some spandex. Like,
Yeah,
but these two, I'm just not, I'm not feeling how like their betrayal, I guess how the whatever the show is showing of them. I just feel like I don't get anything from them. Like Naeem, even when he was like with someone like Camille, who's very out, like loud and extra, he's just got this like monotone voice, and it's just like his voice just kind of drags, and there's just nothing really interesting or that like anytime they interact, I'm just like I'm not getting anything.
I
It's just
agree.
very go with the flow. So I don't even sense a real connection between them. I don't know. Like, but again, I'm going off what's being shown on the show. I'm just not getting anything from them. So
I don't know that they have anything in common. I'm going to say this later about another couple. I don't see the connection. I just don't see the
right.
connection. So I don't know where they're getting this. The only other time that we've seen them together was at another. It was at the bar where he got her a drink or something like that, and they had like this just a really quick exchange.
Yeah, they
That's
was
it.
in the dark. They
Yes,
always in the dark. So I
that's
don't
a great way
know.
to put it. All right, now we get into the nitty gritty. Okay.
Mhm.
So, what did you think? Okay, so of course, this is Sabrina and Walter. Everybody loves some Walter. I like Walter, but this was just a very yeah. We've seen them in the beginning that he really got brought something out of her, and they really had like a, what do you call it, trauma bonding. But since then, we really haven't seen them interact. We know
Right.
Walter wants kids, and she doesn't want any more kids. So yes, they get along, but when it comes down to it, have they had those other common communications? Have they had those other conversations?
Right.
Yes, yeah. Like there's nothing. Walter's this comes off as this easygoing guy, but yeah, I agree, Sharon. I'm just confused by this. Yeah, friend homie vibes. I feel
Yeah.
like Karen said, I feel
Mhm.
like I don't know anything about any of the cast. I agree. Now there's some of the cast that I genuinely like. Like I like Sabrina. I really think I was like, gosh, I'd like to get to know her as a person. Like she's somebody that's very creative, type of personality, and all of these things, and very mature, intelligent woman. Yeah, that's it. Like, but I don't know. I just no connection to any of the cast members. So,
Right.
what did you think? Go
The,
ahead.
the only thing that I liked or picked up from this clip was the fact that he said he was basically like her friends are classy, they're this, they're that, and that tells me a lot about her. So I like that comment that he basically saying like who you surround yourself with matters. So she has good friends, they're of class or of a certain standard. So I know all the things I'm already thinking about Sabrina are true. It's kind of confirming what he already thinks about her. So I thought like that was like a great thing to notice, or for him, for that to stand out to him. But again, like you said, if he wants kids and she don't, what are they doing there? I want to I guess as we're getting into the next slide, I noticed, okay, Sabrina, the intros with Walter and with Sean were completely different. So I know that we want to call him a Dusty, whatever, but it's I kind of felt like she set him up to go into a gun range and just get fired off on. Because she said, well, I have this issue. I saw this red flag. I think this. And if you notice, all the friends' body language changed. One friend is crossing her arms now. Everyone's closed off. If you notice, they even moved to a different seat. Like when she was
Yes.
with Walter, they were on a couch. It was like they were one sitting there. Then they moved to two separate seats. And I'm like, interesting. But Sean, ooh, Sean, I was like, it was okay. Claire Huxtable, I was like, what is he talking about? Nothing about Sabrina is Claire Huxtable. Like, she's fun, she's vibrant, she's got a nice, funny personality. And like, where are you getting Claire Huxtable? I think he maybe is trying to call her wifey, which is cringe, which is a red flag to me already. I hate when men kind of label you as wifey or wifey
Wife
material,
material.
because
Wife
that
material.
means like they see the good in you, but are they really going to do anything about it? Are they going to take that next step of commitment? And most men that like walk around with that wifey label, they usually don't commit. So
Okay, so I
I
didn't get that. I did. I got part of what you said because I agree. There, those and the intros were totally different, and then the producers had them because the sound went low, and then they all moved, played musical
uh,
chairs. So I noticed. I was like, why did they make them move like that? You know, and I was like, huh.
mhm.
So it could be literally exactly like a firing squad, like he said, and for her to give them the preface of their previous conversation, that made them side eye him. So she did set him up a little bit. Although still love me some Sabrina, I just think that she did set him up a little bit for the bullets to be flying. And
Mhm.
honestly, when the bullets started flying at him, he couldn't even, get his get his thoughts together. And he finally said, I said that as a preface for the fact that I want kids and she doesn't want it anymore. But I was like, um, I hear that pregnant pause, but bro, you gotta come back at them. And they're looking, but they were looking for the reassurance. They were looking for him to fire back. They wanted him, they were looking for the pressure. They were looking for him to start sweating. So the Claire Huxtable comment, I got that he wanted that she comes off to him very intelligent and very mature and somebody that he can build a life with. I thought that that's what he meant, but she's not a lawyer. He knows that. She's not
Right.
she doesn't have five
She
kids.
don't have a whole bunch of kids
Right,
running
she doesn't have
around the
five
house.
kids.
So
I
I'm
don't think
like,
that's what
what
he
is
meant.
he
I
talking
didn't,
about?
yeah, I don't think he meant five kids and a lawyer. I think he meant that woman that has staying power, that woman that has that. But I hear what you're saying about that wifey material type of that. When guys say that, I'm like, oh Lord, what are you trying to say? But I don't think that that's what he meant. I think that he meant somebody that's, because that level-headed, intelligent woman that is gonna stick by him. That's what I thought he meant. But I definitely think she said that my friends uh just started rapid fire, bullets were flying at him and he was not able to pull it together. She was like, it was bad. She even
He
admitted,
like he
she
was
admitted
bad this episode. Like it was like I was like, has he always been this corny? I've never picked up on the corniness from him until this episode because he had like this Morris Peanut, like suave, smooth type of feel,
wait,
and
wait,
then this
did you just say
episode,
Morris Peanut? Did you just say Morris
yeah,
Peanut?
he's the value size Morris Chestnut,
I'm
but
dead. I love
he's
it.
always been so like suave and smooth. So to see him in this scene, and even with Tasia, he just I was like, what happened? Like
Well, at
where
that
it
point, he had
just seems
totally
like
checked
there was
out.
a change.
At that point, he felt like the whole process, he wasn't even himself anymore. He had totally checked out. And I think that after leaving, because she knew that the conversation was over, the whole conversation was over. It wasn't good. He was, even Sabrina was like, let my friends stop firing at you. Like she knew, she was like, this is bad. Like, so and with Tasia, he had checked out, and he didn't even want to be there anymore. He even said, I appreciate what he said at the end, even with Tasia, she's a real beautiful girl, but I just didn't even want to be a part of it anymore.
What about the him calling her friend feminine because he said make it make sense?
Yeah, oh
I was
yeah, I
like,
wrote that down. That was so, I was like, wait a minute. He said, guys don't, real men don't say make it make sense. I said, this is a defensive thing. This sounds like
right.
this is him just being defensive and him just being so out of his element and so frustrated. So he said, real men, he said, this guy saying, make it make sense. Real men don't say, make it make sense. I said, you're just upset. Just calm down, drink some water, and pull yourself together. Oh, you're just, he was just mad. Yeah, he was just mad.
Right.
Yeah, he said real men don't say make it make sense. That's just like oh boy last year
I'm like,
saying
that's the only defense he had to that whole conversation. I'm like, yeah, he was in his feelings
it's just
about
like
all that. I'm like,
it's just like David last year saying bring down the strength in the room. That's what that reminded me of. I was like,
but
okay.
why? I'm like, why did she just have Dante? Well, I guess she doesn't pick technically, I guess because of production. But I feel like it would have made more sense to have Dante there instead of him. But
I
yeah,
don't think that his friends were. I don't think that his friends were. Her friends were fair to him. I think
right.
that's how they set it up. It's almost like they knew that he wasn't it, and they were like, let's just get him out of here. Let's, and The fact that she set him up in the beginning, I don't want to say set him up, but she shouldn't have told her friends, okay, this is what happened our last date, you know. She shouldn't have said that. Let's just see how he
Right.
reacts. The well, I can pay a bill or two. I
Right.
mean, whew. What did you think of that? What did you think of him saying?
I
Oh,
felt like he I don't know. I was like kind of confused where he was coming from. I feel like he's gonna try and defend himself. I can see him on the reunion now, like, oh, what I meant was like if we're dating, I'll only pay a bill or two, but once we're married, of course I'll contribute more. I feel like that's what he's gonna say at the reunion. But it was just like I was like, what do you mean a bill or two, and then eventually, what do you say? Hopefully, I'll be able to cover all or get to all. So I was like, what are you saying? It was just, I was
right.
super confused. Like, where was he going with that?
And then hopefully I'll get to paying the rest of the bills. Like he couldn't pull himself together. He couldn't pull himself together. And I was like, he's totally
I
checked
mean, at
out.
least he was honest. At least he didn't sit there and say, I'm a, I'm a provider. I believe in this and that, and then turns out he ain't got no money. He in his mama's basement. At least he didn't do that. But I was just like, what?
Right. Yeah, that took well the part that took me out was him saying that what real men don't say to make it make sense. That I can pay a bill or two. I was like, well, okay, you need to explain that. Like a bill or two. Like
Yeah.
what? And then he said, then hopefully later on get to paying more.
Maybe we didn't, I don't know. I don't
But
know.
maybe
Maybe
we
there
didn't
was
see it
a
all because you
question
know,
we didn't hear. May I don't know. But it was just like, huh? It was just the
right?
statement didn't fully make sense.
Were they asking him to pay her bills? Because they now at the start of it, the ticker said journalist. He says he's a creative. Um, yeah,
Who said that? Somebody, oh, was it Shindy? She said he was fumbling with his words to be a
yes.
journalist. I'm like, he sure, like, for you to be a journalist, a creator, you sure ain't good with your words. Like,
No, but I don't, honestly, if somebody's rapid firing, throwing words, and you come off like this, the other girl with the pretty dress, she had jeans on, and then she had like a top on, and she was like, you come off like this, and you know how this sounds to me, and I was like, oh Lord, like yeah. Even Sabrina was sitting there just like, this is not good at all. Mm-mm,
yeah.
mm-mm. A bill or two. Um, oh Lord. I want y'all. They need a meme. I looked it up. They don't have any memes yet of Camille. Of Camille. I need yeah.
Look at him
Okay.
smile. Why does he smile like that? I'm like, oh my goodness. I just don't like him. I
So
agree with friends. The friends had a very, very valid point. Like, I guess this kind of explains the Black Widow um nickname that she has, because they said you fall fast for these dudes and you get bored. You've been with guys like Cornelius and they're too passive. You run all over them, you get bored. And I'm like, I totally, like, this is already happening. So like, why why are you even like trying to do this again if it hasn't worked in the past? And when they were talking about abstaining, she claimed she was abstaining, and then friends were looking at her like, girl, when? I was like, this is not a good sign. They say, you doing what, girl?
her friends were telling on her. Her friends all up and down that little date. So the reason he's smiling like that because he was nervous around people he doesn't know. And her friends beforehand, her friends were like, he's abstinent. And they literally all laughed heartily, like out loud. They were like,
Right.
what? And they were like, what do you see in him? Because I'll be honest with you, I don't know that she genuinely likes him. Like she likes the idea of him. And we've talked about this before that like there
Right.
are certain people that like the idea of this type of guy. But is that the
Mhm.
one she wants or should be with long term? Because literally she honed in on him and
Mhm.
nobody else. She shut everybody else down to her detriment, as we're going to
Right.
see later. But like her friends, like everything, you do this, all of the things, her friends, and I said her friends, I like her friends. They are honest. They are
Mhm.
honest with her and nobody else is going to be honest with her. She keeps doing the same thing. Like he is.
Mhm.
I think that maybe Cornelius is like this genuine guy, and he has got himself, oof,
But
into
what
a
about the
mess.
tea that Tasia kind of spilled that I heard Camille chose Cornelius, but Cornelius ain't really chose her back. So is he kind of leading her on or somewhat gaslighting her a little bit like he did Courtney? So her to see us saying that made me kind of wonder a little bit, but
No, I think it's the opposite. I think that he wants to get to know everybody and he wants to be this friendly guy, but any type of look that if he even engages in conversation with anybody else, Camilla's side eyeing him. You know what I mean? So even sitting down with who did he sit down with? He sat down with Zadia, and he was like, I don't even want Camille to even know that I'm here having a drink with you. Like he was just in
why
his
was he acting like the Stepford husband, talking about, I don't know what
yes.
Camille's gonna say, and I better be good because I don't want to get in trouble by. I was like, dude, if you don't unlock them shackles off your feet, like, why are you? He was talking like a runaway slave. I'm like, you like Camille is not your woman. You are not like locked down to her, and it's like it's kind of weird. It's just weird. Maybe because Courtney isn't there anymore and he really don't have no other connections now. Maybe that's why. I don't know, but I'm just like, you
So
really just gonna let this woman tie a leash around your neck and just drag you around everywhere.
So let's go over this because I actually have somebody just said, and it was that Chindy that said that I'm like, was she really engaged 3 times? Or did she just say that she was engaged 3 times? Or maybe 2 out of the 3 times they talked about marriage, but they weren't in actual engagement. I don't She said she was engaged 3 times. She calls herself a black widow, right?
Mhm.
But I do think that she gets with these guys that so she can, for lack of a better word, be in control. She gets with a God fearing man who absolutely is a great thing. But these guys that are much more, um, y'all give me a word. I don't want to say docile because I want to call men
What?
docile. I don't want to call men
Docs?
docile, but docile man is like a much more, like an easygoing guy. So she can be
Passive?
the passive. There you go. A much more passive man, so she can be the one that's running things. She gets with these guys, and then and she said that after I lose interest in everything, the engagement, everything. I don't want to have anything to do with him. So I think that's what she does, and she's gets with these type of guys. So I wonder that that's what happens because all of her friends said the exact same thing. Like,
Yeah.
why? Why are you what? Why?
They had it right, but she's not gonna listen. And we'll see. But it's obvious that yeah, she
Act like he's
probably does
annoying.
need a man that's more like yeah, that can put her in her place because Camille is gonna test you and see like what she can get away with. And yeah, I'm just not
But
feeling him.
would she
I
even
I
be
just
interested?
uh
Would she even
what?
be interested in? Would she even be interested in a guy that's much more that would put her in her place? Like who?
I don't know.
Would she? She didn't even want to. She didn't even entertain any other guy, any other guy. So I wonder if she would even be interested in any other guy that's going to be just a little bit more outspoken. I just
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what she needs though. That's what she needs. She needs a guy that, and I don't want to say turn the tables on her, but she needs a guy that's like that shows her that he's the man. Mm-mm.
Right. Hmm.
Mm. What did you say? Wealth and health. First of all, wealth and health. I love your new picture. I love your new. I love your
Yes.
new avatar. I love
Come
the
on,
hair.
Crescent Girl.
Yeah. You said I've seen a lady in the store today, and I believe she was threatening him. It was creepy. So a woman is threatening these. Oh, okay, all right. I think. Well, she's even called herself the a Black Widow. She's called herself, so she gets these guys that are all in. A guy that like wants to be all in with her and commits to her, and then she's like, "Now I'm not interested." Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Well, what's the next? Who
I'm
we got
good.
next? Who we got next? Oh,
This face was cracking me
this
up when all of her friends were telling on her, and she just had this face like, you really gonna like put my business out there like that.
good. She needs friends like this, though. She needs.
Hmm.
Yeah, I appreciated her friends. Her friends needed to some. She needs friends like this that are gonna, not pull any punches with her. And look at
Hmm.
his face. Look at his face. Look at his face. Look at this. What is happening? What is happening? Because and so you know what? And we're gonna see how he is like really double thinking it. He's really like second guessing himself. Like I let her be all in with me. I let her be run this show. And but this was, of course, this was not my favorite face. Like this was she was like,
This is cracking me. I got another one of her faces
yeah,
in there.
that's what I
You
want
can't
to
see
see. That's what I want. I want the end face. Okay, so this was fun. This,
this threw me off.
yeah,
I was like, when did they make a connection? I was like surprised to see him there. You was over there doing Lady and the Tramp with Frank.
she was.
So I'm like, how, like, I don't know. It just all confused me. But I guess they're having dates that we haven't seen, or maybe they're
Okay,
having outside dates as well.
so I was trying to remember when her and Dante got together, and it was the miniature golf. So Sabrina and Moomin went to miniature golf with Dante. No, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no,
Sabrina,
that's right. They
Sabrina
went
talked to
with Dante
Dante.
and Frank, but they made it look like it was just Moomin and Frank, Sabrina and Dante who
Dante.
made connections. They never showed like
Right.
anyone else. So that's what was like, and
You're
that was
right.
just one date.
Right.
So
And
that's, yeah.
I didn't understand that. I was like, that's just one date. Yeah, Sabrina stole him at miniature golf. So I really didn't even see that connection. But I did think so. The hand under the table was actually really cute. But I was like, did he
I think
literally
he
do
a
that in
freak.
front? Did he do that in front of Walter though? Like, what is happening?
I think
Mm,
he's a freak. I don't know. I think he liked to get his freak on and stuff, because even with Sabrina, he started rubbing her neck and was like, "You are trouble. You are trouble." And then underneath the table, he's grabbing her hand. He's not just grabbing it, but he's like caressing her hand. And I'm like, "Whoa there, buddy. Like slow, like don't don't get too riled up in front of all these people." But I don't know, I just pick up a vibe from him. That might be why he got three different baby mamas. I'm not judging, but it just seems like sometimes it seems like that's what he's really after, or
mm,
that's what really gets him sparked up, because other than that, he's like Naeem. He's pretty dull, like
no.
unless he's like getting like turned on in some way, he's pretty dull. So I just think he a little freak a leak. I don't know.
So you do have a point. The only thing, and I said this last week, that he literally says that like when he introduces himself and talks about his kids. I have 3 kids, 3 baby mothers, three mothers. Like that's first. I was like, I appreciate the fact that he, says that right off the bat. There's no second guessing that, So, but at the same time, I'm like, you don't have to say that like within the first sentence. So I
Mhm.
don't know about that. I do think that is very interesting. He goes in for the PDA very quickly. Like he did that same
Yes.
thing with Sabrina. Yeah, he did that same thing with Sabrina. And the married friend was like, because she's been married like 25 years or something like that. She was very agreeable, and
But
I don't
that
know if he was
doesn't
helping.
like that doesn't mean anything. That's why I agree with wealth and health. Like she was just agreeing, but at this I didn't understand that's why I'm sorry, I just don't really care for Moomin either. But like the
Mhm.
way she's being presented on the show, she just comes off like very pick me. And the fact that you brought her here just because she has been married for 24
Married,
years,
right?
that doesn't mean it was 24 years of happiness. That doesn't mean it was 24 years of great communication. Like, it doesn't necessarily mean that. I'm like, but what she says she's been married for 24 years, so she knows how to
Right.
read people. I'm like,
Right.
girl, that does not even go, like, where are you getting, like, what are you talking about? Like, that
That's what I was
doesn't.
gonna say. It doesn't really say that she's a good picker or
Mhm.
a good judge of character. But to her, to women, she is a good judge of character. I do agree with something you just said though. I don't know about women. Like I'm just not seeing a difference. They were like, okay, she's also celibate. She does children's ministry. And that's another thing she said. He has 3 kids. I work in children's ministry, so I don't mind that. And I was like,
Like,
what?
that's not the same. Like, being in Sunday school for 2 hours every Sunday morning is not equivalent to dating a
No,
man or marrying a man with kids. Like, that's
it's
not, they just make
absolutely
it
not.
like, I don't know if it's her or production or editing, but she just, the presentation, I'm just not into it. I'm just like, girl, like, what are you talking about?
So, okay, so there was other times when they could have made this kind of like awkward. And so Walter very much showed himself because so Walter before she said that she was glad that Walter came before Dante left because she wanted to see how Walter acted under pressure. Walter did not like it. He did not
Right.
like that. Yeah, they're two different things. Yeah, children's ministry, I can't. Two different things. Absolutely. It was like, why would you even say that? It makes no sense to me. That's just like, what's his name with the 8 kids? I just in one ear and out the other. I was like, that's stupid. I was like, sometimes I was like, when it doesn't make any sense to me, I'm just gonna like, you know what? That's silly. But Walter, I actually now that I'm looking at how Walter's dressed, I actually kind of like the way he's dressed. I was like, see, I kind of see it now because everybody was like, "Oh, I love me some Walter." I'm like, I'm second guessing Walter, just like I
It's
second
his
guessed
eyes
Joe.
for me. His eyes just, I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't know.
no, I totally agree. Like I was second guessing, not second guessing. I was like side eyeing in Joel last season. I'm doing the same thing to Walter, but I said, okay, now I'm kind of seeing it here in this scenario right now. But he does not like being one of 2 choices. He does not like being
Right.
one of 3 choices.
That's
He
very
was
true.
very clear on that. He did not like, he was like, what am I even doing here? Even when Sabrina, remember, not Sabrina, when
Woman.
Cornelius and when he thought he was double dating with Courtney and Camille, but both of them were going after Cornelius. He didn't like that either. And I actually didn't blame him. That was awkward, but it's just silly. I was like, Walter's like, what am I even doing here? Mm-mm. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about this date. I didn't even see that there was a connection here. Do you see a connection with either of these two?
We haven't seen, I didn't see it with Dante. I don't know what outside conversations they're having. I guess for him to be holding her hand. I guess, I don't know. I guess they somewhere. But Walter, the last thing we saw with them was her calling him Zaddy.
Yes,
So I was just like,
you're right.
I don't know.
I think that she tries to pull the like because they were just having a one-on-one conversations about their father figures, and then she was like, "Okay, Zaddy." I was like, "Why'd you pull that out the air?" Like it was that's again that's you just wrong. Mm-mm, mm-mm. So I was like, "Did somebody just tell you to flirt with him at the end?" That's just silly. Oh, you start.
I was like, where did this come from? The kissing, you see the body language. His hand is all up on her thigh. She picking boogers out his eye. I'm like, what is, like, when did this happen? It was just, she's very, I can understand why girls don't like her. To me, she's cool, she's bubbly, but I can see how she's kind of getting on the other girl's nerves. You even see, like, can see it during the deliberation. She kind of has like this bubbliness, like this, like she drunk too much pre-workout. I don't know, but yeah, it just seems very like facade-ish. Like the friends try to say Frank was the politician, but I kind of see it with her. Like they have, like they both, like they're just into like this nightlife look. They want to look posh. They want to look like cool or whatever. And that's just all I was getting from them. I was like, y'all kissing on the lips? Like, where is this coming from?
Misha, you said she drank too much pre-workout.
That's what she just seems so
I
alert.
agree.
I'm
I
like,
agree.
what?
No, no, no. Her eyes were very alert. I totally agree. And I was like, what? I couldn't place it. And then you just said it. You said she drank too much pre-workout. I was like, her eyes are very alert. Like I couldn't place it. So there it is. But this scene, and then them kissing afterwards, it was just frustrating me because I was like, okay, and we talked about uh Courtney and the sexual not sexual pressure, but we were talking about how Courtney just was like overdoing it, right? And then you see this, like and it looks like she's not wearing hardly anything at all. It looks like she just has hit just didn't care. They didn't really even have an actual date before this. They had the meeting when at the pool party. They talked at the pool party, and that was it that we saw. Unless they've had a date and we didn't see it, which could be true because this season everybody's had their phones, everybody's been having other dates and stuff like that. Everybody's been talking on the phone for hours, so maybe. But like the PDA, it just didn't seem it just seemed really forward, and it just was like, what is happening here? I just didn't. I liked her friends though. The gay guy, I can't remember his name, but first of
Me
all, I
neither.
was like, I gotta ask Misha what she thought of this man's makeup.
I was staring like, what did he use on? Huh?
I
How
was
is
like,
he like?
I was like, this man's makeup is impressive. Like, does he do?
Right.
I'm like, what is happening? I was more wanted to know more about his makeup than I wanted to watch this scene. I'm sorry. I was like, this, yeah. So Celery said, everyone talking about Courtney being too forward. Take a look at Sydney. Exactly. And she didn't even say, she said, we know Frank, we know him from the nightlife, we know him. And she said, this guy that I'm interested in, but she didn't say I've had a date with him before. She did not say, because I paid attention to that. I
Yeah,
said,
always, that's all we saw was them at the pool when they allegedly, like, now I don't want to say first met because they did say they've seen, but at the pool party they made it seem like it was just hello, hi, bye, not like an actual connection has ever been made between them. But so then there was one episode where she just wasn't on the episode. Then we just get to hear and she's kissing him in the mouth, and I'm like, where? is this coming from? It just very much caught me off guard. I think in that, like, for the friends to say he's giving like a politician, I'm like, I kind of feel like she is too, in a sense. But
I actually kind of agree with you. Like
yes, I
his
agree.
words, yeah, his words were very, he had good answers to their questions, but at the same time, I was like, are you trying to justify being here? Like you were saying about Sydney, I was like, uh, it just seemed very, very performative. And we
Hmm.
talked about on the other show people being very performative and being 10 on 20. I think that's 10 on 20 right here. This is 10 on 20. All of this,
20 on 10.
20 on 10, 20 on 10. Yeah, this is 20 on whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. All of that, I was like, wait a minute. Where is this coming from? Except for one conversation at
Yeah.
the pool, where is this coming from? So, and besides that, like she said that he had a crush on her, but a secret crush on her. Well, if and this is what Wealth and Health was saying. Well, if he wanted her, they would have been connected, and he would be pursuing her before the show, right? Because they know each other from nightlife, from the scene. So I'm like, they they've had to have had some other connection. Nobody else kissed on the mouth. So yeah. Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Well, Phil was making his rounds. I understand what you were saying when you kept calling him a Jason, like he's just gonna come out of nowhere with these connections and come out on top. Because I did not see, I was like, he made that many connections because I just didn't see it. Like he was just very much in the background. No one was really what it seemed like, because every time somebody mentioned a connection, I never heard Phil's name. But he's on all these dates. He's with Aisha here. I'm just like, I kind of was like, they kind of showed him giving a Corey impression. Like he was doing these copy and paste answers. He was telling them all the same thing. So I'm like, uh-oh, somebody gonna get caught up. I think Shiloh is his number one, but I think Aisha thinks it's her because of what he's been telling her. So I can see how that can lead to some trouble to see it. I don't think she even stand a chance with this man, but in her head, she really think like this is going somewhere. I'm like, girl, you are at the bottom of the list. Trust me. But
So did you see how Phil answered those questions? He was doing a copy and paste, and not, that's exactly what I was saying. First, I thought it was going to be Naeem. That was going to be another, what's his name, Jason from last year. And then I said, oh no, it's definitely going to be Phil. Like we're not going to see him. Then all of a sudden, he's going to have all these connections. It's not to see it. And you
Mhm.
could tell by the way he answered the question. Yeah, sure, you're one of my top. He really likes Aisha or Shiloh. That's his, and Shiloh is the main. Aisha, he likes Aisha and he respects her. I think that he has that respect for her, but he doesn't. And I feel like he's originally from New York as well. He's originally from New York. Now he lives in DC, so he feels that connection as well. But he doesn't. But he really likes Shiloh and then Aisha. Um, you could tell with the way he answered the question because each friend asked pretty much a variation of the same question. Where is she on your list? And he said you're definitely one of my top pick to Aisha and Shiloh, but not to Tasia. And I feel like Shiloh wasn't really feeling him in the beginning, and now she's getting all butterflies. Now, and Shiloh does seem like somebody that you're going to have to grow on her. She does not. She does not get butterflies right
Mhm.
away. Uh, with Phil, I think that he just really likes Shiloh as far as long term. I just I don't know. I just like you said, somebody's going to get hurt, and yeah, this is going to be very interesting to see it saying that she didn't know that. Aisha said that she knew that, like, the what are the rubber band analogy she gave. She was like,
Stretch.
yeah, stretch yourself. That's kind of a mature, intelligent woman's answer. She was like, stretch yourself, but you better that rubber band about to the elastic needs to pop back to me. That's what she was really trying to say.
Right. But
Hmm.
Aisha, she seems like a woman, like she's so sure of herself. Even like it's like go do you, whatever, do the process. But I don't feel like for instance for Tasia, like, no, he's one of my connections and he said we're gonna have kids and blah blah. I was like, girl, what are you talking about? But I
Oh,
do
this one right
I
here.
really like Aisha. Shiloh and him, I don't understand. I don't I know him and Aisha had that deep moment and they shared that and it seemed like their connection was very like deep, but I'm getting a vibe that he might just be surface level because I feel like with Shiloh, I feel like it's just attraction. I feel like that's all that's really there for them. So I don't know. I think he's gonna end up hurting Aisha because they've built such this emotional, mental connection, this vulnerability and safe place. And I think he's going to end up choosing Shiloh. And I don't think they're there. I don't think they have that depth in their relationship. So yeah, I just
I
Phil
think
gonna
that
hurt
there will be.
somebody.
I agree. I agree with wealth and health. I don't think that they have long term connection, but
Mhm.
Phil does want kids, and he and Aisha's a little older than him. I think he respects her. I think that he'd love to be with her long term, but I think that he's trepidatious about it. He doesn't know that it's going to work long term. He thinks it'll more work with Shiloh long term. So I think that he's going to put his eggs in the Shiloh basket. And I agree. If you listen to his words closely, he was very picky and choosy about what he said to each on each
Exactly. He
date.
never said anyone was his number one. I
Right.
think like I think he was trying to play the game and not say something because he can't say I have connection with you and other ladies too, because then that makes him look like a player or whatever. But if he says, oh, I have strong, like whatever he said, a strong connection with her, or she's one of the top or something like that, then the girls like they fall into that. So I think he was very strategic in how he answered the question so he's not necessarily anyone off and not losing anyone in the process.
Right. I think that he's very strategic in his words. This was
Mhm.
his date with to see it. I think that he skated a lot of the words, skated a lot of the conversation, the
But it
with
seemed
Shiloh.
very surface level because
Yeah, I
she talking
agree.
about kids and I'm like, what? Okay, why are we there? Like, I don't, yeah.
No, I agree. And the weird thing is she does this. Like Tasia did this with Sean too. And he said at least two. And yeah, we agreed to three or four. I was like, girl, y'all go out on a date
Right.
first. Stop.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Uh and he just looked like, and honestly, I feel like this was the same day. And each day he just changed it up a little bit. So by the nighttime, he put on that jacket. It's the same shirt in the
Right.
morning. He just took off the hat. What is
That's
Zadia
because
doing?
even with her, she had that purple eyeshadow on all throughout the whole episode. So I'm like, they must have shot that all in one day.
Yes.
But let's get into this deliberation. There was some attitudes, child. I was like, okay. Zadia was okay. Tasia made the comment, you need to start shrinking. If, like people need to start shrinking. When I rewatched it, you can tell when she was saying it, she was talking about Phil. She was talking about the other men. She wasn't even talking about anyone at that table.
Right.
And you see Zadia just like took it personally and like ran with it. I'm like, bro, she's not even talking to you. Like, that's not even what she's talking about. She's talking about Phil needing 3 or more like people's friends. You need to kind of hone in on whoever you're going to choose for the process. So Zadia acting like that, it's just like maybe she's heard before that she's like a go with the flow or whatever, but we've seen her on a lot of dates and she makes a connection with everyone. So maybe that's why she took it personally. But to me, I'm like, it was very clear that she, well, at least to me, that she was talking about the men.
I agree. I was like, Tassia's not even talking about you. What are you doing? And she was like, address me. My name is Zadia. And then she was like, Zadia. Like it was so and I she just said it so as Zadia. Like I was like, oh look, listen. Um but Tassia wasn't even talking about you. She was like, okay, now that you guys have made all of these connections and you got to know each other, then start shrinking this rubber band, connect talking about the analogy that Aisha said. Stop, giving these getting 3 and 4 connections and shrink it down to 2 connections. And Zadi's like, I have 2 connections. I have a list. I don't and what did Aisha said that no, I have my connections and I know who I'm talking about. I have my connections. When you go to, and what did Aisha say? When you go to the grocery store, if you'll go to one for one item or two, 2 is a list.
Mhm.
And I agree with her. 2 is a list. I was
Yeah.
like, listen, y'all. They all of that, and the camera knew to pick up all. They were like, let's just stick around. Let's just stick around for a minute.
Right.
All of this is going to be good, good at the end. And this one, it was so funny. She's like, well, I just feel like all the guys want to get to know me because I'm new here, and everybody just wants to get to know me and get to see who I am. And Sabrina, I
Sabrina
love you for
Sabrina
Sabrina.
said, okay, like, why
She's
are you
like,
even
where?
talking? She was
She's
like,
like,
she was very
she's like,
much like, why are you even
okay.
talking? Why are you even saying
Was that
anything? Look
that,
at
like,
Sabrina's face though. She's like, okay, like, what are you?
okay. Was that a piece of cheese on her plate? That was so funny. That was like
Like,
that. Whatever is on your
everybody
plate.
gets annoyed with Sydney. I was like, what did this girl do? Because every time she spoke, everybody was either laughing or looking around like, what is this girl? I was like, my goodness, poor girl. But
Yeah, it was really actually funny. It was almost like she needed to say something because she doesn't say anything, or something. The camera
right. She
picking
like,
up
y'all not gonna give me no lines, so I'm gonna create my own.
exactly. That's exactly what I thought. I was like, she's just sitting there like a fly on the wall. They're like, oh no, I'm gonna have something to say here, and they're like, okay. Where did that come from? Because okay, so yeah, Dashra was saying, I'm hoping this is editing because Zadia was extremely extra for no apparent reason, and somebody else
Right.
said that Zadia really surprised them because she comes off like go with the flow. You even call her like Miss Go with the
Yeah.
Flow, and yeah, and now they're like, oh, where did this Zadia come from? Like, but I think that Zadia is always there, but they just have not picked
Mhm.
it up. For her to have what? She's got 3 connect. What?
She
Walter.
got 4 or 5. She she done talked to every, well, some of them went home. Like Tyrone went home. But it was Naeem, I think it was Dante. I don't know. It seemed like every person she talked to, it was just like, okay, we like each other. Like, I don't know. I just felt like she was connecting with everybody.
And I didn't even hear. Was it Tasia that didn't? She said Miss, or what did she say that she didn't? Well, you can address me as Zadia. Who? What did she say to say that?
That was, oh, because
That was
no,
Sydney,
after she said the statement, I'm just going to, I just got here, so men want to get to know me. That's when Sabrina said, okay. And then
right?
Zadia busted out laughing. And she said, so what is so funny, girl? That's what she said to
Oh,
her. And then that's when Zadia started saying, well, my
You can
name's
address
not
me as
Earl,
Zadia.
blah blah blah. I was
My name
like,
is Zadia.
child.
You can address me as Zadia. Like I was like, this whole scene, and I saw that Tasia didn't even mean anything by it, but Zadia went, um, this is my face. Y'all make a meme out of this. So they were saying that there was no connection with Cornelius, and the whole time she's like she was stabbing her with a pen. She was stabbing, like your
She looked
people
like
like,
a little rat.
and
I was like, why is she doing her face like that?
it's like, what are you doing? Like, what? See, the thing is, if you stop acting like that, like stuff will show up. Like, and I almost think it is this very performative. Do you even really like him, or that that that's your main connection? But does she really like him? I don't know that she really has a connection with him. Like, that's just who she's made a connection with, and she's formed that connection, and that's it. But gotten to know
Mhm.
him as a person and wants to build a life with him, I don't see it. But she was like one of those people that have a rubber band around their wrist and just kept, like,
Right.
every time another woman mentioned Cornelius's name, she just like had a reaction. I was like, girl, and I don't, it wasn't even warranted. It was just silly.
But I like that Aisha, like, it's, I don't know if the other girls are afraid of Camille, but Aisha was like, no, we're not going to act like you and Cornelius are not shacking up. You stake claim over Cornelius. If anybody even said hi to him, you're making faces. Like, and I guess this is maybe the scene that Camille is talking about when she said she apologized to the ladies about for them feeling like they can't make a connection with Cornelius, but she's saying it was filmed, but it wasn't aired.
I agree.
Because I
I,
guess
I
they
think this
want
had
to
to be the
have
scene.
that
Right.
reputation.
No, I agree. This had to be the scene that she's talking about, because nobody else had knows anything about Cornelius. She has basically um, made this claim on him, and and we saw before, even if he was to be talking to somebody else, she wasn't having it. She changed, her mood changed, his mood changed, and he wasn't able to make any conversation, any strides
Right.
with any other woman, even if she found out, even if you got to talking to somebody and said, okay, well, they're not even a connection, they're just friends, he couldn't even make more than a friendship with another woman.
Mm-hmm.
It would just been an issue. Yeah, I'm glad they put her on the spot. I'm so glad they put her on the spot. And everybody else was like, I don't know him. Like, you and he's got found his one person, but romantically, I don't see him with anybody else but Camille. And why is he still here? If y'all are connecting, then go home and connect offline. I think
Mm-hmm.
that you're right. Yep, because Camille, and then so
Yeah,
that's Zadia.
you know what? I was happy. Okay, I was happy to see him in this seat as like almost going home because one, I'll say, I think it's very unfair when a woman hones in on one man or she has her connection. The like we've seen in previous seasons, the men all want to send her home because they're not getting a chance to make a connection. They'll send like so many women from last season alone were sent home because of that, because they didn't make any other connections. So I think for Cornelius to be sent home over that, I don't feel bad about that at all. Because I'm like, if you're gonna go hard on the woman, because how many times on these elimination dates have we heard well, I really liked you and was attracted to you, but you never gave me a chance. You never took me on a date. Like, so many men say that to the women. So it's like it should be vice versa as well. Cornelius, I just think he's too passive. I don't know. Like, I feel like he's hiding something. I don't know. Even I'll save that. But I was my mind kind of fast forward to the trailer, and we saw Cornelius's ex-girlfriend. And his ex-girlfriend looks nothing like the ladies there. So then I'm like, okay, are you just on here for the show, for the exposure? Because based on your ex, I don't even think these women are your type. Like, his ex seems like a traditional, like, Southern woman. So is that your type? What are you really doing on the show? But I was like, please send him home because I've just had enough of him.
Okay, a couple things. I hear what you're saying. I want to get into the trailer, but I wanted to get into it after this elimination thing. So Cornelius, him grabbing his glass, and you could hear in his voiceover how I don't want Camille to find out that I'm here with Zadia, and it's nice to get to know somebody. But he just, like you said, he felt like he was a kept man or something like that. He couldn't make his own decisions, or I felt like Cornelia, or what's her name, Camille, was gonna creep on the other side of the other table or something like that. I said, is she like lurking in the bushes? Because the way he was acting, and you can see even just the way he's like sitting, it just seemed very passive. Um, but he said she's right that I haven't made any other connections because of my connection with Camille. So I need to make some changes, right? And looking at when we see the exes, this one doesn't even just look like a Southern woman. She looks very churchy. She looks like a very traditional, churchy woman in the previews, and I was like, this isn't even Camille. Like this isn't Tasia. She's more. It's just very traditional, down home, churchy, and I'm like, people are your ex for a reason. So I don't know if he wanted something different or are all his exes like that. I think that is good for Camille to see that, sweetheart, you're not who he usually dates, and maybe you're not it. Um, but yeah, his ex, I was like, whoa, huh? That was very telling. Looking into his ex. And I'm not saying that she was ugly or by any means, very pretty lady, but she's not.
No, I agree with Shindy. She looked homely. It had nothing to do with her size or anything because she was
No,
beautiful. Like, her
right.
skin was flawless, her hair was pretty. Nothing was wrong with her, but it's just like if you look at her and the other women
There's,
who he's attracted to, it's like it didn't add up. I was like, "What?"
it just
It
didn't
just
add
caught
up.
me off guard.
Absolutely, and that, yeah, the age range is and I'm so it just caught me off guard. I was like, "Whoa, is this your ex?" And sitting there with Camille, and honestly, Camille would devour them both. I was like, "Okay," but this girl did not look like she's anybody to play with. So I can't wait
But
for
the
the
girl, she did look older, so maybe it's an older woman thing as well.
maybe.
Because Camille's older as well, maybe is he a mama's boy child? Maybe he needs somebody. I don't know. That's telling him what
But
to do.
maybe, but that is the Camille though. That is somebody that's more the caretaker, the woman in control. You understand what I'm saying?
Mhm.
That's Camille though. He's just the um let her take control, because
But
the
if you remember, I'm getting into Kirby's comment because if you remember when he met with Courtney the last time, he said he wants someone he can rock a red carpet with. So maybe that's why like he's going for something different, because that ex don't look like she was the red carpet type as far as dressing up and all that type of stuff. So I don't know. Maybe he's going for looks, and I don't know, child.
So, okay. So Josh was saying maybe he's churchy in real life. He has the look for this show, but definitely not the personality.
I
I'm
agree.
I agree. I'm gonna give you that because and you know it's so interesting because I was watching LBB and Courtney was on there and we're talking about color.
Oh, are you talking a little black boy? Girl, I was
Yeah,
trying to figure out. I
yeah,
was
I'm
like,
sorry, little
LB.
bit. And so he was saying, so Courtney was on there, and Courtney was saying, you know, when Camille did, you know, said all of this
Mm-hmm.
stuff about country bumpkin and all of this stuff,
Mm-hmm.
he did a whole like backing her up on social media, right? When
Right.
Courtney, you know, she was very, you know, sexually aggressive and everything. He did he sent her a message privately. He did not back her up. He sent her a message privately and said, I know we talked about your child. I know we talked about your college. I know we talked about more than just sexual stuff. So it's a shame that that's the narrative that they put you in, you know, that they did. But he did not back her up in social media. He did not back her up publicly.
Right.
I think that that is what he does. Like he wants he's much more of a country boy, you know, without the personality.
But she had the receipts too, and she made a good point, like, because I kind of had a change of heart with Courtney as far as like putting the pressure on her or the responsibility on her for being aggressive, when I kind of feel like he was kind of gaslighting her in a sense by
Wait,
like
who? Gaslighting
repeatedly
who?
telling Courtney, by repeatedly telling her that we can have accidents or we can have slip ups. I'm like, nobody plans an accident or a slip up. So like you're making her think that if she presses you a little harder and you'll fall. So I kind of felt like he was kind of setting her up in that sense. But she had a good point on the interview. He never said he was waiting till marriage. He just said he wants to wait to have sex, wait until we build that bond and connection, and then we can start having sex. So that kind of made sense what she was saying, and that's what I got as well from him. I don't know if he said till marriage. He might, I think he told Camille that. I think he did tell Camille that, but Courtney, I was like, he was playing a little bit. She didn't show it, but she showed a little black with those receipts.
Mm-hmm.
And it looked like there was some touching, rubbing, and flipping going on. So I'm like, yeah, he seems like there's like, I don't believe the nice guy, the charming act. I don't believe it. So I'm just, yeah, we gonna see, child.
Yeah, I don't believe it either. There's something else, and I know you said there's something else. A lot of other people saying that. I don't think that.
I don't see that. I
I
don't
don't think
see.
that.
I just feel like he's hiding something. I don't know what it is, though.
I don't think that he, and maybe that there will, it's what Tasia said, that Camille's the one that's into him, but he's not into her. I think that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that that's what it is.
Right.
That it's not mutual.
Mm-hmm.
So this is Mr. Sean. You want to go ahead and go?
It was very ish. Like I said before, he was just weird this episode. Like he lost that suave, that smooth. I call him Morris Peanut. He lost that. I don't know if it's the glasses. Maybe the Tommy glasses just make him like bring him out of character. I don't know. But for Tasia to say like, you just like, you don't reach out to me, you haven't like tried to get to know me or anything like that, and then he's just like, yeah, I didn't try. No, no, I just I'm like, boy, why did you come on this show? Like, why were you here if you're going to be like over it? So I was just like, I don't even, and I really thought it was going to be the one or two bill comment that sent him home. But I really just think it's the fact that he checked out, and it was just like he just switched up this episode. It was weird. I don't know what happened, but I'm like, yeah, he needed to go home. He didn't even seem like he cared. Like, did you want to go home? Did you tell production you wanted to go home? Like, yeah, it was just weird.
I agree. I think that it wasn't the one or two bills comment. He totally checked out. He wasn't even interested in, and even he admitted, he said, even look at Tasia. She's a beautiful girl, wonderful girl. And I didn't call her back. I definitely checked out of this whole process, checked out of the engagements with everybody. And he just changed up his personality,
Hmm.
he just lost any interest in the process at all. So, and I think that, yes, I think that that was part of it with the friends. I think that that definitely had something to do with it. Because I think that he was genuinely interested in Sabrina. I think he liked her as a person and really was like intrigued by her and everything. But when the friends started like, um, you know, treating it like a firing squad, he was just like, he was over it.
He
Yeah.
was. Maybe it was production too. Production might have played in that. Maybe they the ones that made him put on them 3D disposable glasses every scene. Cause maybe that's what he's mad about. He's like, I can't see out of these
But every time he did his like
unless I'm in
his
the dark.
every talking head, like regular episodes, like when he was sitting down with Sabrina, he didn't do it. Like his every his interactions with other people, he was wearing his contacts. But then when he did his talking head, he said, "Let me put on my horn rim glasses and his my and my suit and my suit coat. Sit there like this, like no smiling, no nothing." And I just think he just totally he um he lost any type of spirit for the whole. He just his it
I
totally
agree.
pulled the spirit out of him. Yeah, that is so funny. Hallelujah. You guys are so funny.
He
Yeah.
was like he was happy. Like he like all these other people crying and they upset. Sean was like, yes, please send me home for 200. Thank you. I am ready. I'm like, maybe he'll have a different take on what happened. Like maybe his side will explain what, because I don't know. Maybe it was some. I don't know. It's just weird. Before he even sat down for the grilling, like before the grilling even started from the friends, it was just his personality was extra corny and just weird. I was like, what's going on with him?
Yeah, even when he first sat down, he just thought it was just well, no, that's not true. I don't think that he knew it was going to be that type of environment because he said, I brought myself some game cards. I thought it was just going to be like a hangout time with Sabrina and her friends. I brought some playing cards like that. He just thought he was going to like hang out and have a good time. But no, it wasn't that. And I think that that's what he thought. I think that he thought that this was going to be a different type of experience. He had it in his head that he was going to have a different type of experience than it turned out that he had. But so next week, who do you think is going to go home? I know who I think.
I guess probably to see it. Like she hasn't built any strong connections. So I think it'll be her. I don't know who the other person will be as far as the like elimination date. No one comes to mind unless it's Camille. I think they're gonna keep putting Camille in the bottom, and then not fair.
I agree with you. I think it's going to be Tasia. Camille's going to stick around for at least another episode, or even maybe even to the end. But the
Right.
only person that Tasia went out with, she went out with Sean a couple episodes ago, and then she went out with and she thinks she has this connection with Phil that she doesn't have. So, so Phil's not interested in, furthering anything with her. So it's gonna be,
Maybe it'll be Sydney. I don't know. We'll see.
oh,
I
oh,
forgot about her.
that's so, Monique. I don't think that they want to get rid of Camille just yet. I think that maybe Camille might have another,
She is the only entertainment left
right.
on this show. Like
Camille,
Naeem and Zadia are so like mellow and monotone. You got Moomin, she don't even make sense half the time. And you're just like Camille is like she is the glue at this point, and the damn table because it's and the chairs and the wallpaper at this time.
she's
It's
the
just
table
like
setting. She's the set.
it's
She's the table
bad.
setting. She's the napkins. She's the glasses. Like, but she's also bringing the entertainment. Like, she's the whole. So I think that Camille is going to have another. I'm the word outbreak came into my head, and I don't think it's an outbreak, but she's going to have another. She's going to have another.
Tantrum.
Thank you. She's going to have another tantrum, and they're going to probably keep her around for at least one or two more episodes, or even to the end.
She
Because
might be safe though, because if this is time for them to narrow and close in on their tops, they
mhm.
both, her and Cornelius, might be safe at this point. I think it was earlier, like they've made it far. I think they've made it far enough. I think Camille might make it to the end, y'all, because if Camille keeps getting put,
She would go
I
full
don't
Michaela
know.
on them.
I think
I,
she probably just gonna get ruder and ruder, but
yeah, she's not going to go full Michaela,
right.
but she is going to show out. She's going to show out. Um, but I think it's going to be Tasia. I like Tasia, but I don't think that this was the environment for her. Frank is not feeling it. Well, not Frank. What's his name?
I don't,
Phil.
Cecilia just seems very gimmicky. Like everything she says is so like 2021, if that makes sense. Like it's so like
This isn't the
I don't
environment for
know.
her. These guys are way older and just a different.
Yeah,
And I
it's
heard,
very Instagram. That's what I'll say. Like
right.
it's very like and I'm just like I think that's why people can't make a connection with her because it's so surface level, it's so like gimmicky that I just don't yeah, I don't necessarily see it. I think like she is somewhat funny even when she sat there at the deliberation and was smiling and it's like everything's good. And then nephew
That's
Tommy's like,
fine.
no, you're not gonna be faking here. And she sat
That's
there with that
fine.
smile.
Did
I'm
you
like,
know?
what are you talking about?
She's like, what is it to see it? Did you know that that Phil had three different that he had two other interests? No, I didn't know that, but everything's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. I like my red lipstick. Do you like my red lipstick? That's fine. I don't think that, yeah, but honestly, but I think that that was the right move for her to do that, because remember, we all had an issue with her first episode when she was like, I'm ready to go. Y'all play too much. And she would, but I think that she learned from that first episode when she was um acted really uptight when she was about to be
Mhm.
eliminated. So I think that that's what she was doing. She was putting it on. She was putting on a little bit. I didn't mind her putting it on because I was like, it's better than you acting like Camille with the chipmunk face. So listen, if I'm annoyed, I would. I'm not gonna. Don't show it. Don't tell somebody that you're annoyed. So I was like, okay, I'm not your number one. Okay, it's fine with me. Look, but it would actually really be fine with me though. Yeah, I actually do agree with you, Val. I think that she's gonna make it to the end, or she's gonna make it close to the. She's because they meet the exes next week, and then after the exes is what, two or three more episodes.
I don't remember. Probably,
So
probably two more.
two more. So I think that that's close to the end. So yeah.
Mhm.
Mm-mm. But they can't, like you said, Camille is the table, she's the chairs, I said she's the table setting, she's the glasses right now. It's going to be very interesting. Um,
Mhm.
So we both think it's going to be Tasia. We both think it's going to be Tasia. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I think. Y'all, this was a lot of fun. This was a lot of fun. I think that I just kind of knew and Misha called it, it's going to be Sean to go. It's either going to be Tasia or what's her name, Sydney, because she's I don't. Okay, so let me ask you a question before we go. What is up with them bringing two new people in the middle? Do you think that that was even worth the time? Like, why did they do that?
I don't knock it. I think they're trying to one up every season. Like
Mm.
last season, it was bringing someone from the previous season, and I don't know what it was the season before, but I think they're trying to one up it. I don't have a problem with them doing that. Maybe in episode 2, 3, like it's in the very beginning, because when you're bringing Sydney and Sean in so late and now they just got to hop in front of friends and they got to meet friends and exes and just go along, and they're supposed to just jump right in and act like they know what's going on. And I'm like, yeah, no, it's just, yeah, no, because we really don't know. Not what the hell. um I just don't think it was necessarily fair, but I just don't think it was beneficial either, because it's just now it's more weird because we already don't know the main cast. Now you have these two people we still really don't know, but they're going home. So it's just weird.
I agree, and we've said it before in this chat earlier, and then Dasha said it again that we don't really know the current cast, and then you bring two new people into that we can't even get to know them either. Secondly, Dallas, Sydney's gay friend, get yourself some Queen of Life cosmetics, okay?
I need to find him on Instagram. Maybe
We
he
need to find who
got a
Dallas is.
tutorial. Maybe he got a YouTube
He got
because
to.
his face was beat.
Beat
Not just his face, his
boy.
whole skin, the cleavage was
Yes.
popping. I was like, okay. I was more interested in
Oh,
him. I'm like,
that's,
put the camera back on him. Let me
that's
see
what
this
I said.
outfit. Like, I don't even care what Frank got
I
to
don't
say.
care.
I was
I
like,
don't care. Look, I was more intrigued with what Dallas had to say. That's what I said earlier. I was more interested in looking at Dallas, Sydney's
right?
gay
I was like, what lip
friend.
gloss is that? I was like,
Exactly. What?
hmm.
I was like, you was beat to the gods. Okay. So that's what we need to get on here. We need to interview Dallas
They
from
should have
Regular
had
Love.
Dallas on the show. I'm just
Yes.
saying.
Yes.
I don't think they're ready for that
They
though.
don't. Oh, we gotta have Dallas. That's who we need to reach out to. Yes.
But do
His,
you, real quick, I don't know, it might just be me, but I thought it was weird. Did she say like this is my gay friend? Is that what I heard? When she introduced him, I felt like I don't know, maybe I misheard, but I was like, why did she introduce him like that? And then she's like, yeah, he's a queen and yes, and he's gonna do this. And I was just like, this is weird. Like, I just didn't like the introduction. I'm just like, I don't know. Maybe it's
she
just
didn't say
me.
it like that, or she said like my gay
Mhm.
husband or something like that. She definitely said it a
Mhm.
specific way.
Maybe more.
She did say it a specific way.
Oh, gay
Your gay
husband.
husband. Yeah, she said my gay husband. Yeah, that's
Okay.
what she said. She said that the gays will really tell it. They'll be able to um decipher. But I
Okay.
agree. But I
Okay. I
agree though,
thought I
Dallas.
heard something else.
Yeah, but I agree. Dallas was asking the questions. And she
Hmm.
was like, "Listen, that's my man, and I'm gonna stick beside him." How is that your man? You haven't even had a date.
It was
Uh,
weird.
they've been they were doing a lot of things. They've been doing
Yes.
all the things
Weird.
with, and yeah, they were kissing on the lip. Yeah, look, but we got to get Dallas on. His face was
You know,
beat to a
I
dog.
I can't remember who said in the comments, but they done did what needed to be did because they were just too comfortable. Frank is hypersexual, child. So, if they was alone, something already done happened. That's what it was giving. Like, and it wasn't giving like we dated. It was giving like a couple hours earlier. I left her crib to meet y'all here. That's what it was giving. And I was like,
Because
what in the world?
no, but you're right because he said he's hypersexual with Moomin, but you saw Moomin, he wasn't one of her selections to meet his
But
friend.
I'm like, that's what I'm wondering. Is it production because like, I think it was with Liz, I think it was production that sent David there, and David didn't know nothing about the friend being there and all that. So
Right.
I'm thinking, I don't think the girls get to choose. Like, I don't think they have the final say. I think they give their opinion or who they want, but I think production might have the final say because I'm wondering why wasn't Dante with Sabrina? Why didn't they have? Because it seemed like her and Dante had more of a connection or similarity than her and Sean.
Definitely. It looked like they had a fun date. Like they laughed on their date, but Sean, yeah, they had a
What?
laugh at their date, but
I
what
read
is
Milton
that?
Hill's comment right now.
That's what I was reading earlier when you were talking. I was like, in transitioned. Like that's what I was reading too. But I think that
Oh,
Dante,
thank you, Dina.
they just had a regular date. It didn't even look like because Dante had both those girls at the little that was just a little outing at the miniature golf. It didn't
But it
even
seems like
seem
they're the only ones that are on the same page as far as I'm done having kids with Sabrina. Dante's, I don't know, he's never really said it, but I'm pretty sure he don't want a fourth baby mama. But it seems like they're more on the same level as far as that. But you never know.
true. I agree with that. I agree with that. But you do have a point. Sometimes you don't know who you're meeting. You're just they
Hmm.
production called and said, "Let me go there. Let me do that."
Hmm.
Yes. Yeah, they know each other. They like he said that we know each other from the nightlife. Mm,
It's
yeah.
do you think they were a couple before this show? Because even their interaction at the pool was a little, let me act like I don't see you and then I'm going to say hi. It was just like, I feel like they might, I don't know. I know Kamisha had the tea about a couple already knowing each other and they're basically just trying to get to the end to get more money.
Right.
And I was looking at this episode like Frank and Sydney, they're putting on a little bit, and I think because like how do you get? I'm just like, and these production days are not that far apart. Like filming is like it's so close together. Like who knows? They probably shot the show in a week or two. Like you never like maybe it was a month, but it's like they're shooting this fast. So for us to go from the pool and you just know of him, y'all just pass by and say hi. Now you kissing him on the mouth. And it was like this total like comfortability where I think she thought, oh, we're meeting the friends now, so I can act cool or we can be normal now. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm side eyeing them. First, I was side eyeing Cornelius and Camille. Like they already had to know each other before they came here. But now I'm on to Sydney and Frank. Like something ain't right there. I don't know.
So I would believe it more if it was Frank and Sydney. I don't think it's the two that knew each other beforehand. I don't think it's Camille and Cornelius, but they may have known each other from the nightlife, or maybe they got together and nothing came of it. And now that they're on this show, they're like, well, let's investigate a serious relationship. Maybe they
Mhm.
something a couple of years back, and now they're like, let's do something. Let's actually see if there's an actual relationship here, or let's try to see if there's more. Because she said he's got a secret crush on me, or he used to have a crush on me, or something like that. She said so that actually makes a little bit more sense to me. And also the kissing on the mouth, like, well, listen, I'm not necessarily, Sydney might be that type, that's fine. But it was just very friendly. And I was saying earlier, we were getting on, what's her name? Courtney, for the overt sexual aggressiveness. But that's exactly what that was. We can't negate that Sydney was doing all the things. So I think that it might be the Sydney and Frank of it all, because Mr. Hypersexual, he is not, he doesn't look like he has been calling Moomin. Doesn't look like he's, you know, why, when you got Sydney, why would, Moomin wants, she leads the church choir. She's a gospel singer, and Sydney's not. So I think you might have I think you might have something there. That makes more sense. They might have done a little something, something.
Something happened, child, because it was too much too soon. And I was like, what is going on? And even because it was just kind of, maybe she doesn't because we've heard of other couples kissing and doing stuff before, but they didn't do it on camera. So I think that's what kind of makes it a bit much, because they had like a alliance or a pact that will kiss off the camera, but we're not going to do that on. So yeah, it's just very interesting. We will see.
So yeah, last thing, you just had a point, because like I think it was Renisha. She did a live. I don't know if it was on Instagram or YouTube, where she said, hey, people are grown. If I want to have sex with somebody, then that's my business and stuff like that, or kiss them and stuff like that. Then that's my business. But we didn't see her doing all the things on camera. You understand what I'm saying? So I remember Renisha. She did a live where she addressed some of the people in the comments talking about her.
Right.
Yeah. So what did Chindy say? Sydney and Frank were both into each other. Cornelius was acting like he wasn't interested in Courtney. True. Well, he didn't.
On camera.
Well, that's what I was about to say. Well, what he did was say, well, everybody has slip ups, and he's all over here, and she's on him, but on camera, like Misha just said. But Sydney and Frank were both reciprocating. They were both like mutually, there was some reciprocity there. Y'all, thank you so much. This was a lot of fun. And the next week we're gonna be meet the exes. So that's gonna be I can't wait for that. Yeah. And I might have to drop into Dallas's DMs and see if we can get him on the show.
You need to stop.
Look, I'm trying. Look,
I can't.
All right, y'all. Good night.
All right. Thank y'all.